Oh man guys, what is going on today? D Creator here, back with another video. I don't know about you, but sometimes doing a tune-up on cars can kind of be inconvenient. In this video, I'm going to show you how to, I guess, make it easier on you. Today, I am going to be working on my buddy's 2006 Mustang V6, and he is trying to keep it running as long as possible. Because most of you know, nowadays, cars are starting to get expensive. We just do not have the money for a note. So what we're doing is we're gonna go ahead and start doing spark plugs and wires on this 4.0 Mustang. Tip number one, make sure you have everything you need. Even the stuff that you don't think you need, far as like grease, brake cleaner, PB blaster, WD-40, whatever. Make sure you have everything you need, because there's nothing more irritating than you starting on a job, you get all the stuff off of it, and you realize that you forgot something, or something just doesn't look right, or you can't take it off because you don't have any WD-40 or anything like that. So just make sure you have everything you need. That way you can stay on the job, work on it, and finish the job without having any issues at all. So these are the spark plugs and wires. These also have grease in there. I can feel the grease, even though I have grease. This is not my first rodeo, so I do have some stuff in the garage that I can use to help me out with any situation I come across. That leads me to tip number two. Get you a nice variety set of tools, okay? I got this tool set from Harbor Freight. This was $120, I think. But it literally has everything I need to work on a car. Honestly, my buddy bought this set for his 2-valve Mustang to take the motor out, and everything in there besides the torque wrench, that's everything that he used. So even with this set, it comes with spark plug sockets, but if you know from my last video, we're not going to use that. We're just going to use a regular socket. This has everything I need to help me out to do what I need to do on this Mustang. Also need to let you know that there are some cases where you're going to have a special tool to do a certain job, okay? Not everybody's brakes the same way, not everybody's spark plugs the same way. Everybody have different brands, and everybody have different ways of making their car seem, I guess, easier to work on. But there are some special tools that you might need. And also, since I'm working in tight spaces, I got this little tool, which is pretty much a ratchet, but I can turn it by hand. So since I'm in tight places, I can use this to get the job done. Tip number three is just make sure you're comfortable. So right now, I'm just wearing a t-shirt, loose fitting t-shirt, some loose fitting pants, some pants that I don't mind if I get dirty, and some comfortable shoes. These are some Nikes, Air Max. They're nothing special, they're just comfortable shoes for me to stand in since I am standing on concrete. And also, since I am working on the spark plugs, I'm gonna be leaning over into the engine. Well, why would I lean over into the engine when the car is low to the ground? Go ahead, put some ramps on there, pull it up so it's higher up. That way, when you're working on the engine, you're just right here instead of like this. Definitely helps your back out. What I also like doing when I'm doing spark plugs is I kind of let the engine warm up just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, to where it will break up any rust or anything like that on the spark plugs. So when I break it loose, it'll be easy to break loose. It doesn't just break. I won't be using this today, but this is my favorite tool whenever I'm doing brakes. That way I don't have to crouch down on my knees. I can just sit down right here. I can put all my tools right here. As you can see, you see the anti-seize brake grease. Also has some thread locker for the brake caliper bolts. Just letting you know, I have experienced some bolts backing out for my brake calipers. Don't ask me how. Let's just say I was glad I was able to stop in this after doing 145. That's all I'm gonna say. Tip number 4, before you actually start working on your car, even though you know how to do it, watch a video on it. Watch a YouTube video on it. Sometimes you might learn something new from a YouTube video. For instance, I already know how to do spark plugs and wires. That's no issue at all. What I didn't know is on a Mustang, do you know how much room you would have if you removed the intake? And to me, I thought, okay, this is gonna be way too much work. I don't need to do that. But if I remove the intake, that opens up all of this to where I can reach back there and get the spark plugs that I need. This last one right here, instead of reaching down through this way to get it, I can actually put my whole arm in here and take it out. Sometimes it's not about trying to hurry up and get the job done. Sometimes it's just being comfortable and being confident when you're working on it. Tip number 5 is actually something that a lot of people don't really think about. Check your weather. Right now, it feels great outside. The sun is out. I can see everything as far as, like, you know, it's not dark. I don't have to worry about getting a flashlight. I don't have to worry about doing any of the extra stuff that I would do if it was cold or extremely hot or it's raining. I don't have to worry about any of that. I just can come out here and work on the car. I started early. It is 4:30 right now. It don't get dark until like around 7 or 8. So I have plenty of time to actually do the spark plugs and still have plenty of daylight. So give yourself a good time frame. You don't want to be stressed out. You don't want to be sweating. You don't want to be just agitated and irritated. Also, get you a good pair of gloves. You don't want to cut your hands up. And also, it's just, you take your glove off, your hands clean. You don't have to worry about getting anything else dirty, far as inside the car or inside your house or something like that. You don't have to worry about that. It is just now hitting 4:31. I'm gonna go ahead and start on this and let's see how fast I can do it. I'm not gonna rush it. I'm not gonna do anything crazy or extreme or anything like that. I'm just gonna take my time, listen to some music, and just jam out and just have fun with it. I gave myself 3 hours. I know spark plugs doesn't take 3 hours to do, but I gave myself 3 hours, so let's just start on it. Doing that, I might give you some tips on doing spark plugs. I might give you some tips on doing the wires, replacing them. There's a lot of videos out there for them, so it's not crucial. But if I see something I feel like y'all should know, I'm gonna let you know. But until then, let me go ahead and start on this job and let's see what time it is after I get done. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, start on the hard side first. That way, when you get done with that side, the easiest side it's gonna be a breeze. So start on the hard side first, get that knocked out the way. That way, the easier side, you just do it without even thinking. This is a magnetic tool organizer, goes from 8 to 19 millimeters. That's pretty much all the tools you would need. Also, get you a little bin or bucket or something to throw all your bolts in. Also, make sure you have some power tools. Power tools helps out a ton. And what I like to do is I like to take a picture of the engine if I'm ever taking anything apart. That way I know exactly how everything goes. And now we just go ahead and start taking it apart. Like I said, we're gonna start on the hard side first. Move the parts out the way to where it's not in the way. And look how much room we have now. Now, let's go ahead and start on it. When putting in your spark plugs, get it as tight as you can by hand, then put the ratchet on here to snug it. You don't want it too tight. And exactly an hour later, we are done. This was a simple job. It wasn't anything major, wasn't anything crazy. It can be irritating if you don't have the right stuff. I also straightened up the spark plug wires. So as you can see, they are nice and neat on this side as well. Nice and neat. And I got it to where they are not hitting the exhaust manifold. you don't want it to hit the exhaust manifold because it would melt and it just wouldn't run right. So it will have a misfire, all types of crazy stuff, and you don't want any of that to happen. Also, when you're working on your car, look for stuff that you probably wouldn't look for if you're not in the area. For instance, I noticed that his thermostat housing is leaking. That white residue that's right there, that's all coolant, dried up coolant. So he's gonna have to get that replaced. I'm pretty sure it's cracked somewhere. 4.0s are known to have that issue. It's a simple job, simple and easy. All you have to do is just deal with some coolant. And as you can see, there's still plenty of daylight left. Still feels great outside. It's not too hot, it's not too cold. And I'm done with the vehicle. Time to call my buddy, go ahead, clean up, tell him everything is done, and go inside and eat some dinner. I mean, you can't ask for an easier job than that. I'm gonna go ahead, run in here, get me something to eat, probably some barbecue nachos. Go ahead, check out this video right here. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Have a blessed day.